Hey Funky Buddhas, Larissa here. We're going to talk about the pose of the month, which happens to be Cobra this month. So Cobra is kind of like upward facing dog, but it's only halfway. And we're going to talk a little bit about the mechanics of it and how you might use it in the midst of your regular studio practice. So basically we're going to talk about pelvic movement, and then we're going to talk about upper arm bone movement and how that relates to your spine. Most of the time in back bending, we tend to go here because your low back and your neck are the most flexible part of your spine. And so if we're not thinking about the integrity of our entire spine, it's easy to back bend straight here and just kind of tip your pelvis back. What we're going to focus on instead is actually tipping your pelvis up. You'll hear us talk a lot about hip points up. That is going to give you a really super strong supportive base. So lifting your hip points up, you're not taking the curve out, but you're not working on back bending here, we're working on back bending up here. So what that would look like in a Cobra pose, I'll show you first in tabletop so you can see the movement. Instead of just tipping pelvis, we're really going to focus on hip points forward, so your low belly and low back are nice and strong, and then focusing on pulling your upper arm bones back and then moving into a back bend in your upper back instead of only lower back. So that's kind of how it looks like in the air, and then what it looks like in the actual pose itself is you lower all the way down to your belly, and your hands are going to be kind of in line with your shoulders, possibly a little bit behind your shoulders, closer to your rib cage. So from here, the natural tendency is to let your shoulders drop. If you come up to Cobra from here, your elbows are going to wing out and your neck is not going to feel that awesome. Instead, before you even come up, get that little tilt of your hip points forward underneath you so that your low back is nice and strong and stable. That's going to be kind of your anchor. And then hands in position, pull your upper arm bones back. Now all of a sudden, you're going to start to feel upper back engagement so that your back is doing the work and you're not just pushing into your neck. So hip points forward underneath you, upper arm bones pull back, and then you lift up maybe halfway to an upward facing dog. You'll hear a teacher say maybe lift 6 inches and then lift another 6 inches to make it more challenging. Again, the goal is not to just push into your hands and lift up. The goal is to get your hands and your hip points nice and stable, but then use your upper back to peel up away from the ground. Upper arm bones back is going to help engage all those muscles. And then you'll know if your back is working if you're here and you can just lift your hands a little bit. Notice how I can't talk very much anymore because I'm working really hard. So if you're here and you can lift your hands, you're good. Your upper back is doing the work. If you push into your hands and you lift up, and then you go to lift your hands and you fall, likely your upper back is not doing the work for you. So again, the goal is not to do the deepest back bend that you can get into. The goal, the goal is to use integrity in your body and to pay attention to how your body is moving so that your entire spine is healthy as opposed to just pushing up into the back bend. So we're going to keep playing with this throughout the month. The goal is upper back strengthening, and then the benefit on the other side is that you're going to start to stretch your upper chest as well. One way that you can incorporate this into your regular studio practice or even your home practice, you can just slide in Cobra instead of any upward facing dog. So just to look at the difference again, your hands are going to be in a similar position. If you do upward facing dog from chaturanga, you're just going to be here. If you do Cobra instead, you would just lower all the way down to your belly instead of stopping halfway at the chaturanga point. And then when the teacher says up dog, you just come up into your Cobra, push back the tabletop, push back, downward facing dog. So your flow can stay with the class. You would just simply lower down to your belly, and then instead of up dog, do your Cobra. Just a note on Cobra, sometimes Cobra is actually more challenging than up dog. It feels like maybe it's not because up dog is bigger, like your arms are straight, you're lifting up. Cobra is more specifically related to your upper back muscles, so you can focus more on that small detail. So feel free to incorporate Cobra into your practice. And as always, if you have questions, we love to talk about yoga. Ask us when you come in, and hopefully we'll see you soon.